Hello and welcome to my channel where we may be dazed, but we are not confused. We are going to do a seed time and harvest reading for the sign of Leo. So we're going to take a look at an action or something that you did in the past that is going to come into some type of abundance or some type of situation as a result of that moving forward. This is just one of many seeds that you do plant because we're constantly doing actions. Our actions are constantly changing and shifting and all of that. And so this may or may not resonate for you. Keep in mind, this is for a large audience. And so the point is to just take a snapshot of one thing that you may have done and how that could possibly play out, okay? Should you continue that, and you can always change it anytime. Also recognize that as well. All right, so looking at your cards, starting off with the Rider-Waite Tarot, and then we're going to add several other oracle decks. It looks as if someone in this situation decided to stay in a group or a community of friends, people that were working together or sharing together, because they were making money. They were receiving money in the situation. However, I feel as if this decision to stay here was not necessarily in alignment with what this person really wanted. I feel like they did it because they were going to receive some kind of income. And in that, there are people who are doing well with this money. They're enjoying it. I feel like there's enough here for people to celebrate. With this Three of Cups, there's people that have a big harvest, which is like the theme of this. We've got, pumpkins and fruits and people drinking wine and enjoying themselves. So this is a situation where people are doing well. And so this person stayed here even though they felt possibly that there was something that they wanted more than that. And as a result of this person is going to be feeling stuck. They might feel like they're in a situation later where they don't have the same opportunity to move on and do something different. But because they had that choice and they're now in a situation where they're not able to move forward, they will become enlightened about why it was so important to take that step to leave this behind. So in pursuit of something higher that would satisfy them more emotionally than just the finances and the sharing of these cups with others, okay? So let's clarify this with a few different cards. Okay, all right, so here, it looks like the reason why you or this person may not have taken this action to move forward into something that they really enjoyed is because they felt like it was beyond their control. Like maybe this money, and honestly, a lot of us are controlled by money. As much as we don't want to admit it, think about what happens if you didn't have it. And a lot of us have had kind of a little taste of that. What happens when streams of revenue dry up and you can't do anything? It changes a lot. It doesn't have absolute control over us, but it has its own, it has its bits. And I feel like this person felt like it was their fate to stay where they were possibly, and that there were some sort of something that was kind of blocking them from being able to move forward. I feel like that's what they were feeling. However, this could also go that this individual may have been in a situation where they were the ones. So this person might have had some type of intervention where they felt like they had an opportunity to leave and do something different, and they didn't. And so as a result of that, they now feel like they will be stuck. They won't be able to move forward in a way that's going to benefit them and be in alignment with what they kind of wanted to do. So the energy I'm picking up also because of this, because there was almost like this hand of fate energy that was kind of almost intervening either to help this person to leave the situation behind, or this person felt like they were kind of stuck because they couldn't get out the situation, is that this person might feel a little like melancholy about it, or almost like a sense of dread. And I don't feel like it's like in a negative way of like, oh, this awful thing is going to happen. I feel like it's more of a sense of knowing that they were not able to connect with what was on their highest path, and that as a result of staying in the situation, they may not be as happy as they would have been if they had moved forward. That's what I'm picking up here very strongly. It's almost like a sense of not necessarily regret, but recognition with this hangman in reverse, that they are in a place of not really having options to do something that really resonated with their soul because they chose to stay for money. All right. So let's get a little bit more clarification here. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I feel like the person, in the past, you had this opportunity to take a risk, venture forward. It could have been this could also have been like maybe travel, moving someplace, maybe overseas. Maybe it was a job. I'm picking up, this could be a job for some people that was overseas, and they had the opportunity to move, but they felt like, oh, I don't really want to go there because maybe it pays a little bit less, or maybe I prefer this community that I'm in and the money that I'm making in this community compared to moving to this other community and this other space. Maybe it's a different culture and it's totally different and you weren't sure about it. But, I'm picking up that this person now is going to maybe look back on it and say, wow, like that opportunity might have been the best thing for me, because now I could kind of see some troubles or maybe some problems kind of trying to build in the distance. And so, this isn't an indictment that this is absolutely going to happen. It's also like just a little bit of a warning that if you see something kind of brewing, or you can see where you could have conflict stirring up, this is a nice reminder that you always have the option to try to clear the air and try to get ahead of it if you feel like that's something that could start to stir up for you. All right. So let's get a few more cards to clarify this. All right. All right. So, yeah. So I feel like, what I see is that you or another person may not have wanted to deal with the mundane of having to just kind of work and kind of maybe start almost I don't want to say at the bottom, but what I'm looking at is the chop wood card, and it's got like a broom and a mop bucket, and it's just very mundane tasks in working. And what I see here is, some type of opportunity or way in which someone was getting money or receiving money in a way where you could celebrate, you had lots of abundance, and what you may have had to do was go into a space where you had to kind of work really hard and maybe not get so much, and that was the turn off in the situation. Although you might have been more emotionally fulfilled doing that, and I feel like at some level you knew that, and as a result of that, because you didn't choose to move forward and take that risk, you're going to learn lessons about with people or situations that may not match you, that may not give you your highest joy or give you your highest sense of fulfillment, but you'll learn things about why it's important to connect with people who do actually connect with you, and why maybe money and finances are not always the most important thing. And so in this way, these are soulmates that are teaching you about the importance of actually following your soul and actually listening to what it is that you need to, and not really putting your true desires and wants on the back burner for material gain. Okay, so let's get a few more cards here. I'm going to do the mystical wisdom. Yes, okay, and this straight up is money. This is find a way to abundance. So yeah, this was about money. This is you trying to just find a way to keep your money up, and that's completely understandable. This is not a judgment on you or your character or anybody that you're cross-watching for at all, because we all have our, when we face these different crossroads, we make our choices based on what we know at the moment and what we're able to do at the moment, okay? And so I feel like because of that, you or this person will become enlightened about how sometimes this can be a destructive trait. It could be something that kind of comes in and it causes us to miss out on the bigger picture or the greater lesson or the things that really do have meaning. Because what I'm also picking up is that sometimes the things that we elevate that are not of high vibration or things that don't really align with what's best for us, sometimes when we're given a chance to leave that behind, it's because there's some type of collapse or something about to happen to it. So it looks shiny and nice in the moment, and it looks like it's ideal, but something is about to come up and sweep that out. And with these two cards here, I have the 7 deadly sins and good fortune. If you're able, with the image of the card, you've got rainbows on both sides and then the darkness being closed in. So it's almost as if you were given a chance, all right, to kind of step out of this space so that you could get in alignment with whatever your rainbow is, and that would have allowed you to overcome the energy of the thing that made you feel stuck and trapped in this situation that was kind of feeling toxic to your soul in a way, is what I'm picking up. And it might have been even really a toxic situation, a toxic workplace, a toxic environment, toxic relationship with the soulmates in reverse. But you're learning as a result. You're just learning an inverted lesson as a result of this, okay? From the other side of it is what you're seeing. But nothing is written in stone, and I feel like it's just a lesson so that when you're given another opportunity to make a choice to kind of follow your heart and follow what you feel is right for you, and that's in alignment with what you're really wanting to do, this is going to be something you can look back on and have some context for. Because sometimes, we don't have context for certain things. We do have context for like money and resources and what that can bring us, and particularly if you have a lot of it, because like with this Ace of Pentacles, like this is coming out the sky, so this is just like, I feel like just energetically, like you were just getting a lot, and it was so much you were able to enjoy and celebrate it. And I feel like the people, the job place, or the people, or whatever the case, were all enjoying it in the moment. So yeah, in the past, I feel like you may have, I feel like this is saying that you really kind of weren't happy there. You really weren't happy in that, even though you had what it was. And it may have been that you had a lot of money. You had a lot of money coming in and people were celebrating and attached to you and doing that because you had it. But deep down, you felt like you knew that people were attached to you for the wrong reasons. But because you were getting all of this validation and people were, celebrating you because you had all these funds and you were able to do this thing, and you were playing that role, it was hard for you to walk away from that. But moving forward, the good thing is I'm seeing that you're moving into an energy where you realize it's more important to be cherished than to just be captivating for who you are, for what you have, as opposed to being cherished for who you are. So this card that I have here, it's these two, beautiful people, and they're in front of a moon, and this person is being cherished. They're holding a rose between them, all right? And so I feel like that's like the blossoming of the soul. So there's someone who genuinely is attached and feels like a soulmate in the upright, because they are on your path. They're in alignment with what your soul is wanting to experience, that will allow your soul to blossom in a way that will bring you happiness and joy. Because your soul can experience things that don't bring you happiness and joy, but you learn still and you still grow through it. But this is going to bring energy that's loving, nurturing, fulfilling types of energies to you, all right? And I'm seeing that you're recognizing the importance of that, okay? Let's do a feather message. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is in alignment with what we were just saying about learning different types of messages from different types of experiences. We have the Eagle in the past, and it says you are learning all aspects of spiritual connection and reaching new heights. So I feel like you're just learning what it's like to go through a spiritual experience on a different side of this, okay? Of what happens when you don't follow your soul guidance and I feel like, you know, like I said, this is not a judgment or an indictment. You get through it, but you're learning how important it is to follow that. All right. So, and I also feel like because you're being enlightened and you're now aware of this, possibly because, you know, just honestly, I feel like you may have lost this money, or this job opportunity, the one that you kept may have dried up, or the people that you're with, they may have left a situation and they're no longer a part of the picture. Now, we have the Blackbird, and it says the magical and unique qualities of your untapped potential are unfolding now. And I feel like you have new soulmates coming in that will be here to help unfold this with you, that you can connect with, because not because they're doing it, but because they are in a similar energy or already on a path that you're trying to go to. So when you shift to where they are, it just naturally works out. So so now that you're enlightened about this, and this other thing that was a distraction kind of has been moved out the way, you really have no choice kind of but to see how important it is for this to unfold. Because, you know, what I'm seeing here is like when money and resources and those material things pass away, what you have left is that soul energy, the spirit energy. Like that is the thing that is everlasting. And that's why so much emphasis is placed on that, in spirituality, as being the thing that is of the most importance. You know, the body passes away, resources, you know, all these things pass away from us, but this endures forever, and that's what you have left. And so because you have that, you're able to focus on that and put your energy towards that and allow that to shine. All right, there's nothing to get in the way of that. So let's do a final abundance card here. Okay. All right, yeah. In the past, it says you may have struggled with, you know, having the courage to ask for and then also accept help. So I feel like you were given, with this Hand of Fate card, you may have been given help by the universe to allow you to leave a situation behind and kind of follow a path that would have given you more fulfillment. And maybe you didn't follow it because you didn't have the courage to do it because the situation was so tenuous. And like I said, not a judgment, but it's difficult sometimes to kind of step out on something when you're not quite sure what you're walking out on. But what you weren't able to see was the fact that this thing was going to collapse and it was going to disappear, and that this was a helping hand to kind of get you over this bridge and to shift your energy to where this rainbow energy was. Because, you know, sometimes like when we see things that we perceive as being, you know, not necessarily darkness, but things that are not high vibe, that are taking over and kind of being victorious, we tend to think we have to go along with that because that's what's happening and that's what we have to do if we want to get ahead. But what you didn't see was that it was being pressed in on both sides, and this was your shift to get you into that space so that you would be on that victorious side and be right where you needed to be, and the thing that was holding you back was going to disappear anyway because it wasn't sustainable. And now you are in a space of recognizing the importance of clearing debts, taking care of your self-care. I mean, that means putting your energies first. On this card, there's literally a rainbow and somebody riding on a unicorn. And so to me, it says that this is you allowing yourself to be your own personal unicorn and ride your own dreams, ride your own desires to the place that you want to be and where you need to be. Just to read it, it says your self-care involves removing the heavy burden of financial and emotional debts from your life. You already feel lighter and freer just by facing this topic and making a plan to clear present obligations and avoid future ones as well. And I think that's an excellent way to end this, is in just picking up the importance of that and learning the lessons, clearing those obligations, letting go of that baggage, and you have hardcore, in-depth personal experience with why it's so important to avoid future setbacks like these in the future, and you have a context for it. And so that's a positive thing and a win-win for me. All right, so this is what I have for you, Leo, for your seed time and harvest reading. I hope it was helpful for you. Thank you for joining me on this channel where we may be days, but we are not confused. And until the next video, bye-bye.